So a lot of guys, even when I train right now, they come to my gym and I make them spend time, repetitious time like I did, on technique. They don't like it. They just want to beat bags, beat hand mitts, spar. Well, how can you do all this if you don't know the real technique that it takes to do it? So that's what's happening. We're missing all that because as soon as you come to the gym, first thing you want to do is hit something. In our day, it wasn't like that. You knew what kind of fighter you were. You knew how to jab. You knew how to throw a right hand. You knew how to throw every punch. You knew how to counter every punch. You knew how to defend every punch. You knew boxing from here. You got to rank him probably in your top 10, maybe even your top 5.
Where do you rank Terence, in your opinion?
I put him in the top 15, maybe the top 10, because he definitely has the skill of a top 5. Just that he hasn't had the opposition that some guys were able to get, and that's not his fault. He just made one of the best fighters in his weight class look like nobody. That's pretty damn good. Now he proved what we already thought. We just didn't see him against the best opposition near his weight class. See, this is the thing people don't understand. This is what I like about Bud. He reminds me of Roy. We ain't got to have the best opposition in our weight class.
Today I get some rounds with the GOAT. One of the GOATs. You know what I mean? 2 GOATs. Iron sharpen iron.
With his latest training session, under the guidance of Roy Jones Jr., it's clear Terence Crawford is aligning himself with the all-time greats ahead of his bout with Canelo Alvarez. "My biggest boxing secret is I always learn," Crawford said, before the workout began. And here's me learning from one of the GOATs. Roy Jones' primary advice to Crawford focused on bulking up, urging him to gain as much weight as possible before the fight.
How do you think Terence Crawford should handle the weight? Should he come in lighter? Should he come right around the weight limit?
I mean, as big as he can get. If you get to the weight limit, because there is a weight limit, get to the...
In addition to recent meetings with legends like Andre Ward and Floyd Mayweather, Crawford has now brought Roy Jones Jr. into his training camp. But Jones isn't just there to coach. His presence is also about mentorship. As someone who moved through several weight divisions during his own career, Roy Jones offers a unique insight that perfectly suits Crawford's journey as he steps into the biggest challenge of his career.
We want the best opposition near our weight class.
There's been discussion that maybe Crawford and Inoue are going back and forth tussling for pound for pound, that maybe Inoue because of the multiple weight divisions. You're shaking your head no. Tell me why no.
Because Inoue also, when he first moved up, he lost to Donaire. Don't forget that. Bud ain't lost to nobody. Moving up or down, he moved up 3 times.
Jones famously claimed titles in multiple weight classes, including middleweight, super middleweight, light heavyweight, and even heavyweight. Notably, he also held a world championship at 168 pounds, the same super middleweight division where Crawford will face Canelo. Given that Crawford is making a 14-pound leap from super welterweight to super middleweight, learning from someone who's successfully navigated similar jumps is crucial.
Bud, Canelo, done deal. Looks like the fight is signed. What's your thoughts on this fight, man?
Man, it's a great fight for boxing. I know people don't agree with it, but if Canelo fights one inkling of the wrong fight, he's gonna lose. If he comes out and fights the right fight, it's gonna be a tough one. So right now, I think it can go either way, but it depends on what type of fight Canelo fights.
You've been a guy that's been weak.
Beyond advice, Roy Jones and Terence Crawford also got physical. The pair sparred several rounds together, ran side by side on treadmills, did swim sessions, and engaged in strength and conditioning drills. It wasn't just symbolic. Jones was hands-on in helping Crawford prepare both mentally and physically for the monumental leap.
Because that's why I beat James Jones. James Jones was one of the best fighters of all time. One of the best defensive fighters of all time.
James, that was...
But he ain't moving feet. So because I got the full deep part of me, when he come at me, I'm moving my feet. I'm changing the whole location. When I come at him, he doing this. My hands too fast. I'm gonna find that. Yeah. You only gonna do that 1 or 2 times. I'm gonna find that. Because my hands too quick. So people get the wrong misconception that defense is this. No. Defense is this. So wherever your back foot is, that's your defense. So your rhythm.
Despite being years removed from professional competition, Jones' power and endurance during training impressed not only Crawford but everyone else at the gym. It's been 5 years since his exhibition fight with Mike Tyson, yet Jones held his own. After the sessions, he had nothing but praise for Bud Crawford, admiring his dedication and drive.
Criticism is promotion.
Right, he don't want no part of Bud, what that means.
Yep. Speaking of Bud, what are your thoughts on...
Still, Jones continued to voice concern about one key issue: Crawford's weight. He's one of the most dominant fighters of his generation. Roy remains deeply invested in the careers of today's top talents, especially standouts like Crawford. And Canelo? The buzz surrounding their potential clash has gripped the boxing world, but the weight factor is an undeniable concern.
That's realistic. It makes sense. And less life risking on top of the risk that we risk stepping in there with guys our weight. And now you want me to do something. Canelo's not coming down to 60.
No. It's Crawford who wants it. He wants the chance to prove it. He's the best.
I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Right.
And and again, that's one of what's happening on a shakeup.
The weight gap is one of the biggest hurdles for Crawford. In a prior interview with Mill City Boxing, before training with Crawford, Roy Jones Jr. discussed this dream matchup. While applauding Crawford's talent, Jones admitted he would favor Canelo early in the fight due to his natural size advantage.
Yeah, because a lot of people are saying like, hey, forget about Canelo. That was a tough fight with Madrimov. Go ahead and give Boots a shot. Give Boots the chance. But Eddie's saying, hey, I think Crawford's saying, hey, give me the Canelo fight or I'm not fighting. I'm done.
Why? What he got to prove to Boots? Boots trying to take over and start beating the guys around him, prove that he's the best of that group. Bud is in a group above him. Bud don't need to come back down to 47 to meet him. That's crazy.
I like Terence, but I'm leaning toward Canelo early because of his size, Jones said. But if he lets Terence get into the fight, Terence will become a problem. Highlighted that Canelo's power could be the deciding factor, stating, "We won't know until we see Terence get hit with that power. If you can't hurt him, you can't change his fight plan, and then you've got a real problem." Jones' breakdown emphasizes that Crawford's ability to withstand power will be key.
Yeah, because a lot of people are saying like, hey, forget about Canelo. That was a tough fight with Madrimov. Go ahead and give Boots a shot. Give Boots the chance. But Eddie's saying, hey, I think Crawford's saying, hey, give me the Canelo fight or I'm not fighting. I'm done.
Why? What he got to prove to Boots? Boots trying to take over and start beating the guys around him, prove that he's the best of that group. Bud is in a group above him. Bud don't need to come back down to 47 to meet him. That's crazy. Why would he? Bud look.
If Crawford can neutralize Canelo's power and stick to his technical game, he could pull off a historic upset. Though the Canelo versus Crawford matchup is still hypothetical, fans remain fascinated by the prospect. For now, Canelo is rumored to be preparing for a bout with IBF interim champion William Skull Jones, meanwhile has offered shifting takes on who might beat Canelo, previously suggesting both Crawford and David Benavidez could do it before re-evaluating his stance.
Yes, but not right now. I want to see him. I want to see Crawford come up with some weight classes and show he can be dominant at 54. You understand me?
That fight will go Crawford and
Crawford won a pound best fighter fight. I mean, it'll be tough. But right now, that's going to be a tough fight for both fighters. We got to see how Crawford carries the weight.
What about Jamal? Based on what you saw from Canelo, how does he match up?
Speaking on Benavidez, Jones said, "It's a tough fight because Benavidez throws a lot of punches. Sometimes power changes everything." In an interview with BoxingScene.com, he questioned whether Canelo would take the risk, saying, "I don't think he sees a reason to. If Canelo can't hurt Benavidez early, Jones doesn't see him winning." Benavidez, a two-time super middleweight title holder, has been pushing for a Canelo fight for years, but so far, nothing has come of it.
He showed, he fought the proper fight for the proper opponent. When you find a guy coming up 2 weight classes, you're supposed to bully him. If he'd fought Floyd Mayweather that way back in the day, we saw a much better fight. But he didn't. But he's learned now, and that shows you that he's improved and he understands boxing more now because he bullied the smaller guy, which is what you're supposed to do. What you say?
What about Crawford, Roy?
Crawford.
Once recognized as the world's top welterweight, Crawford is now open to moving up 2 divisions to face Canelo. Alvarez, however, has downplayed the significance of such a victory. Still, many insiders believe Crawford has a real shot. "Anybody can do it. It's Crawford," said Jones. "Back when I gave up 33 pounds to beat John Ruiz for the heavyweight title, I didn't care. I wanted to prove I was pound for pound the best." Bud's chasing the same kind of history.
It's a hard one to call, and I'm going to tell you why it's a hard one to call. It's a hard one to call because it'll all be predicated upon how Canelo approaches the fight. If Canelo approaches the fight like he's the man and he can box and outbox Terence Crawford, he'll get beat. If he comes out and shows that he really wants to go out and prove the world he's still the best, he might win. So it all depends on which Canelo comes to.
That same hunger now drives Crawford. He's aiming to do something historic to cement his place in boxing history. Who doesn't want to see yesterday's pound-for-pound king fight today's? Jones said. If Bud adds the weight properly. How can you doubt him? According to Jones, Crawford isn't just in it for a paycheck, he's there to win. He fights smart like Mayweather, hits without getting hit. And if he can take the punch at 168, he might just walk away with the win.
Bud, Canelo, done deal. Looks like the fight is signed. What's your thoughts on this fight, man?
Man, it's a great fight for boxing. I know people don't agree with it, but if Canelo fights one inkling of the wrong fight, he's gonna lose. If he comes out and fights the right fight, it's gonna be a tough one. So right now, I think it go either way, but it depends on what type of fight Canelo fights.
You've been a guy that's in the weight class. How do you think Terence Crawford should handle the weight? Should he come in lighter? Should he come right around the weight limit?
I mean, as big as he can get. If you get to the weight limit, because there is a weight limit, get to the weight limit.
Jones, who also fluctuated between divisions late in his career, advised Canelo to stay at super middleweight moving forward. It's best he stays at 168, Jones said, questioning why Alvarez ever went to 175 to fight Dmitry Bivol. He had already beaten Sergey Kovalev, who was near the end of his career. Bivol was in his prime. They're two different animals. Lightning won't strike twice.
Canelo did what he had to do to get the victory.
What do you want next? It seems like that's going to be the fight. Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez, the biggest fight in boxing.
Well, Canelo's the face of boxing. He's the best fighter for Terence Crawford out there. He's the biggest fight for Terence Crawford out there. So that's why Terence Crawford want to take the opportunity to share a ring with another great.
How do you beat him?
You'll see. Come 12.
Despite Jones' cautious outlook, some boxing analysts believe Crawford is capable of winning weight class aside. One such voice is former two-division world champion Timothy Bradley. On his YouTube channel, Bradley said after studying both fighters, he now sees Crawford winning decisively. Bradley, who once beat Manny Pacquiao, believes Canelo hasn't had a knockout since 2021, and that Crawford's intelligence and versatility give him the edge.
In the fight, would you agree with that?
I don't know. He was boxing well, and then he just stopped doing what he was doing earlier. I don't know. I can't call it.
Do you think Canelo slipped as a fighter?
No, I don't. I just think that, William was doing a good job neutralizing Canelo power punches. He was just.
The matchup has been teased since late 2024, though no official fight has been scheduled. Still, fans are buzzing at the thought of the unified super middleweight champ going toe-to-toe with the light middleweight king. It would be a technical master like Crawford, who switches stances and brawls with brains against the hard-hitting, counter-punching Canelo, known for his durability and relentless pressure.
It's a dangerous fight, man. That's an extremely dangerous fight, dude. And Canelo lands one bomb, bro, on Crawford. It might not be good. It might not be good.